Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm here today with Matt Zavonik from High Prairie Sportsmen, and we are just jumping on last minute, trying to get an episode out for you guys, and I'm glad to have Matt on today. So, Matt, you just informed me you just brought something home?
Yeah, I just picked up, literally 10 minutes ago, got back from the gun store, picked up my new 28 gauge, a Super Black Eagle 3.
And what gauge does that happen to be in?
28,
Oh,
of
I guess you
course.
said, yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So what did you get, the black, or what pattern did you get?
Yeah, I just got the black. I mean, not really any, it's a couple $100 more for camo. I don't really need that.
Right. So you got the black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I've said this on the podcast yet, but I also picked up the Benelli Ethos Cordoba Best 28 gauge myself with the 28-inch barrel, 3-inch, shoot 3-inch shells with it. And I'm assuming you got the 3-inch, Matt, because I don't even know, do they just sell it in 2 3/4, or do they sell it 3-inch?
No, it shoots 3.
Yeah,
I don't even know I think they're all 3-inch.
not that. Oh, really? Of the
Yeah.
Benelli's line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's cool, man, because man, how long has it we've been talking about that? Even before you bought one, like, wasn't that when that teal hunt, like 3 or 4 years ago, when we came to Nebraska, me and Harrison? Doesn't it seem like we
Yeah.
were talking about it then a little bit or something?
Well, yeah, because like the next weekend after you guys went back, my buddy actually had a 28 gauge and over under he let me use on a teal hunt, and I shot a couple
Oh,
of
that's
teal on it.
right. Yes, that was on a video, right?
Yeah, yep, that was the first 28 gauge I ever had on my channel. But
Wow.
yeah, just hooked on those 28 gauges now, I guess you could say.
Well, you know what? And here's the thing. I think, and it's okay. I mean, me and you both know that I think a lot of people think it's a fad thing. I mean, for a lot of people, I think it is a fad, right? Like, because that's what they always try to do. I feel like every so often is like, oh, sub gauges are back in, sub gauges are back in, this and that. But it's like, well, I just think I don't know. It might be a marketing thing too, but I do think it has its ebbs and flows of like what people are using and stuff like that. But for me, like I said, for me and you, it's kind of a bummer to get in that kind of be thrown into that category that is just kind of a fad thing, because like I said, that's why I keep bringing up how long ago we've been talking about it. Before like the last year or two, you start seeing them pop up in magazines like, oh, the new fad is go back down in gauges. But I think me and you both know most people really don't want to do that because they like to have what they think is more, I mean, I shouldn't say think. In reality, it is more shot, but we know that if you use the right ammo and you take the close enough shots, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, yeah, it's not anything for clickbait or a challenge video or any of that garbage. I've wanted one since I was 12 years old. I've said this multiple times, and it just fits my hunting style, and I just love the way they shoot. So
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own. So some people can use a 10 gauge. I probably will never own one, but
No.
now I have multiple 28 gauges. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean for me the 20 gauge thing was, I will not say that I was like you and wanted to get one when I was 12 years old. I didn't even know about those, I didn't even know that of that gauge till basically you and Harrison were talking about it on that trip. And I don't know if Harrison had bought one yet or what the deal was, but I remember us talking about that quite a bit. And it's funny because it's always, to be honest with you, you and Harrison, whether it's me and you or me and Harrison or when we've been together, always talk about that stuff. Like, to me, I'm just naturally into, and I wasn't like 4 or 5 years ago. I wasn't into patterning and chokes and all this kind of stuff. But now, like, I really enjoy it. Like, I sincerely like trying to make the combo work and use a lesser, quieter gun and less recoil if I can, but still is deadly.
yeah, yep.
Now what's your confidence level like using a 28 gauge?
I guess what do you mean?
Like, do you feel like, oh man, I'm undergunned? When I go out there and I'm hunting, it's like, I just, I don't know if I got enough gun there, to take care of.
Never with ducks. If I think it's, on days where, I'm just strictly going goose hunting, or I'm not sure how well the geese are going to be decoying, I'll take my 28 or my 12 gauge out. But if I think that I can decoy them close that day, or if I'm confident that they will, then my 28 gauge is coming out with me. If I'm hunt primarily honkers and I don't think I can decoy them the best, or I'm not 100% sure, then I'll probably lean with my 12 gauge just in case, so I don't have those thoughts.
Right. And that's funny you mentioned that when you said thoughts, because it's all on confidence level, right? It's like the gun, most of the time I think any gun could handle the situation, but if you're not confident in your mind with it, then that's going to affect you as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Which,
I mean, that's the whole point. That's all shooting is. It's just you got to have confidence.
Yeah. And another thing is too, you've been hunting for years and years. I've been hunting for years and years. And when I say hunting, I mean like I'm talking about waterfowling. We've been doing it for so long. I know my ranges. You know your ranges. We know we've shot a lot of different ammo, a lot of different probably types of shotguns. So, and you've hunted for a long time. And you've been in a lot of scenarios. So you kind of know your comfort levels, and you're not going to put yourself in a position. If you're a new person hunting, like you've been only duck hunting for like a year or two, or I should say waterfowl hunting, I could see where you would feel that way. And I don't know how you feel about this, Matt, but like I would not recommend new hunters using like a 28 gauge. How do you feel about that? That could be a little trail we could go off on right there.
Well, I guess, I mean, you could go two ways with it. I mean, you could go kind of how you're going with it, and I would agree with you in that aspect. But on the other side, like if you're introducing like a kid, like a new person completely to hunting, they might be scared of recoil. And you that, the person taking them out is confident that there's going to be decoying birds, or, they'll let them shoot them on the water or whatever. But give them a 20 gauge, give them a 28 gauge, something that's not going to kick too much, that fits the kid. Cause you don't want to give them a gun that's too big.
Right.
And then, that just goes back to that confidence. They'll miss a bunch of shots and it'll just beat their confidence up. So, you could, there's two sides to it, like almost everything, but if you're going out on your own, you maybe have a year experience, you're maybe not the most competent shooter yet, or you don't have all that experience with different scenarios and stuff, probably want to suggest that go 20, go 12 gauge, something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. My thoughts were, which I think for me, I think a part for a kid is like when you have too long of a barrel, that can be overwhelming to a kid, even though it may not kick much. So like I have that 28-inch barrel, which I forgot that my 20 gauge is a 26-inch barrel. So when I threw my 28 gauge up on my shoulder, I was like, man, this thing's long. I'm like, oh, duh. Yeah, that's why it feels so long, because it's a 28. My 20 gauge is a 26-inch barrel. So I don't regret that. I mean, I like that extra 2 inches, but it's kind of like it does make it more to throw around in a way. Even though it's only 2 inches, it does kind of feel weird. It's like, okay, the barrel's so small and the gun is so light, yet the barrel sticks way out there. It's kind of different, but it's so balanced. It feels so good throwing it up on my shoulder, because I'm a really big Browning guy, but I've had some bad luck with Benelli's myself in the past longer ago. But this one, when I throw it up, the way they put the rib is kind of set up higher. So when I throw it up, I'm literally looking right down the rib through the bead, instead of before other ones I've had, I feel like I had to kind of lean my head over, But anyways, I got off sidetracked there. But my daughter, she's 10, and she's really a go-getter when it comes to wanting to hunt and stuff. And she shot it, actually. We shot him Saturday. And besides it being too long for her, obviously, she was not scared one bit, because, I mean, there just wasn't the kick there, So like you said, with the kids going the other way up from what I was saying about new hunters, meaning, and I was kind of more referring to like someone's been hunting a season and they're like, I'm gonna use a 28, which it's up to you what you want to use. I'm not trying to push anybody anyway, but I don't know, man. You could go so many ways with that, because then you could say, well, then maybe they want to take higher shots than they should be because they know they got to get them in closer. But I don't know if that's necessarily true, because I think if you're new enough, you're still not confident in those distances. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, Elliot always talks about this, the stages of hunting. When you're just starting out, you're looking at limits. You want to shoot a lot. As you progress, like you and I, we can go out, we can have one, shoot maybe one duck, have a great time, hanging out with family and friends, or just going by ourselves, watching the birds, watching, like you got Rocky, watching him work on that one bird, or, whatnot. But as a new hunter, usually you're going to equate getting birds to success, and you're going to want to fire the gun off as much as you can. And, maybe, like you said, you don't know your ranges as much. So that all plays into it.
Yep. Totally. So good. I know, and actually, I want to have Elliot on the podcast. These guys are hard to get on, but
yeah.
But I want to have him on and go through that whole thing. We've done that before in the podcast, just like me and Travis, or me and Thomas and Travis. But I want to have him on too, because I enjoy talking to other waterfowlers that have been doing it for a long time, that have been through all those stages. Like you said, if people don't get full straps, they're like depressed. It's nice having full strap. It really is. But okay, I'm going to give you a prime example. Last year, Caleb's goal, his only goal for the whole year, he's done some filming for us. If you remember, people know who he is. And he's really helped me a lot on photography, and really just been my sensei, helping me do better pictures and stuff. Anyways, he said his only goal, he goes, I don't care about killing a bunch of birds or nothing like that. He goes, my only goal is to shoot a Drake mallard. I said, dude, let's make it happen, And he's usually wanting to do the camera and stuff like that. He's not trying to force his way into shooting. And we're always like, come on, Caleb, grab the gun. Here's my gun, shoot. Well, anyways, we planned a trip, just me and him, or him and I, and he had his own shotgun. And he put the camera down for the day. I did some pictures. It's on the Instagram. And he's holding that Drake mallard. But anyways, the backstory of that is all I cared about is him getting one Drake mallard. I literally didn't. I didn't even. I don't think I even shot that day. I don't think I pulled the trigger one time. And I didn't take the camera because I wanted to be everything about him and just focus on that moment. And we actually hunted all morning. Nothing was really flying. It was a warm day, and there was no wind. It just wasn't a really good day. Anyways, I started picking up decoys, and I'm like, man, dude, we can stay all day if you want. And he's like, no, I probably need to go. So I started picking up decoys, and all of a sudden he goes, hey, there's some birds. It was like a group of I think six or seven mallards. Started working a little ways off in the distance. I dropped the decoys, kind of ran back over to him and started calling a little bit. It was the most amazing thing ever. And these birds literally were right on top of the tules, low. They turned and literally decoyed right in front of us. I mean, 10, 15 yards most 15 yards. I don't even think it was that. And literally feet down, probably 7 foot off the water, cupped, flared up, seen us at the last second. And I mean, he crushed that Drake mallard. And because we were leaving. And he was screaming, I was screaming, hooping and hollering. And it was dude, it was one of my top 3 hunts of the whole year. And I'm talking putting it in with, like you said, with other hunts that were limits or whatever. But it was the experience. It was we're getting skunked. He's not going to get a bird. We're leaving. And then just that whole, I can still see it in my mind's eye. It was so amazing. And then he was just almost about in tears, holding, just staring at this Drake mallard, my first one. It was so awesome. And we wrapped it up, threw the bird in the boat, and took off, and that was it. And we were just floating on cloud 9,
Yeah.
And what I really liked about that too, because he is a beginner, so he's not in that stage. I still don't think he is in that stage like you and I are, but at the same time, he got to see how much joy and emotion came from that one bird, knowing it doesn't take a strap of birds to make that feeling, So it was neat for him to experience that at such an early stage in his hunting career.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's always the great thing about hunting with new people. And it doesn't matter if you're deer hunting, turkey hunting, duck hunting, when they get their first whatever, just seeing all that joy and the waves of emotion that rush over them.
Yep.
It's something else.
Yeah, and he's what is Caleb? I think he's 35. So I mean, he's no young kid, and that same thing's there. I've watched it with 10, 11-year-olds, and I've watched it with 30 and 40-year-olds, and it's never gets old. It's like you said, that's the other stage I'm kind of in. I'm not the guy that's not going to pick my gun up at all, because I know I look at some of the older guys and I'm like, how do you just not pick up the gun anymore? But they're in a different stage now. I've done it, training my dog, being with my kids, being with other junior hunters that I need to keep an eye on them, put my gun away. I'm totally fine with that, trust me. But like, I still want to hunt, through the season or whatever. But some of these other guys, they won't even care about that. They just want to take the new people. But that's the stage I think we're in, like it's just all about the journey and the experience.
Exactly. Yep.
But so how are you with chokes and stuff? Because I'm looking down at, I don't know if you've seen it on my story on Instagram, but I'm looking down at the Pattern Master flyer only because they sent it when I just got in the new Code Black Duck choke for my 20 gauge, because I tested it in my 12 last year all season long, and man, it was just so hard hitting. It just, again, like I said, I'm really combing everything with the fine tooth comb. So I know, I'm not saying all that's necessary. I shot the factory chokes for years. Totally not saying that. It's just one of those things. It's enjoyable. It's what I spend all my time and money in. So I got that choke, and I'm going to try it out my Franchi Affinity Elite 3 this year. And I just got it in the day for my Father's Day gift from Sarah, actually, my wife. And screwed it into my gun, fit all good. So now I'm kind of excited to pattern it. But I mean, like, what's your thoughts? Do you kind of even go down that road, or you don't even worry about it? Because again, we know it's not necessary,
Yeah, I just use factory in all my 28 gauges basically. With the Benellis, both the SB3 and the Ethos. I got what was it? A cylinder, improved cylinder, modified, improved, modified, and full. I believe they send you 5 chokes.
Yep.
And usually I'm running IC, modified, or full, depending on what I'm hunting.
Right.
So, and they pattern well enough for me with my bismuth that I'm using. So I don't, haven't spent the money on those.
So have you, just out of curiosity, it doesn't matter if you have or haven't, but have you patterned, just like shot a couple on paper to see what the pattern looked like, or no?
I haven't with this new one. I literally just got it today. So I probably will throughout the summer. I definitely want to shoot some blue rock with it before I take it out for doves or something. But yeah.
Well, I mean, did you do it with your other one?
Oh no, I never. No, because I got it like during the season. So
that's right.
In December, I got it in like December. So I took it out and it shot ducks. So I was like, well, probably not the best way to do that, but it worked. And I didn't have any issues with the pattern when I pointed at the birds and they'd go down. So
right. And and I think really all that is because, again, I didn't start doing that stuff till like 3 or 4 years ago. Because honestly, God, I'm being serious. Before that, I thought it was stupid. Like, I'm like, why do guys think they really got a pattern like that? Give me a break, I point the gun, shoot, the birds fall and die. But I think because I'm a super like technical guy, like playing golf, I'm like really focused on this and that and how I swing. And I haven't been playing much lately, but to me, to be good at something, I have to kind of be like that, super analytical. So I guess that's kind of how I've turned to with shotgunning, But it's totally not necessary because I didn't do it all the years before. It's just interesting to me, and I think, Matt, that builds up. That can build up confidence too, And when you shoot against a piece of paper and you like see what it looks like, you're like, oh man, that looks pretty good. There's no holes in it, and it's really clean looking, and okay, that at 20 yards, that's how much that pattern spreads. I think it's a good little confidence builder, but it's definitely not necessary,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying people shouldn't go out and pattern their guns by any means. Had I got my vanilla ethos in the summertime, guarantee I would have patterned it. Like this, Super Black Eagle 3, I'm going to take it out and pattern it here in the next week or so, probably. But where I bought it right during hunting season.
Right.
I'm like, Yeah, I don't have time for that. So I just took it
Ain't nobody
out
got time for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear you, dude. Trust me, I hear you. Yeah, yeah, it was nice. I'll tell you what, my biggest thing for me, I think because, again, I know we're preaching the choir and we've had these conversations so many times, but it never gets old to me. But shooting still, and I've shot for years. Everyone, guys, I don't want to get people all worked up, and I know ammo prices are insane right now, so we got to take what we can get. But it's like, I will say this. I think I would be a little hesitant in shooting still with my 28 gauge, to be honest with you. Because I've shot birds with my 12 gauge with straight steel and just feel like it almost ricocheted off the bird sometimes. But when now using bismuth or, pretty much bismuth is my biggest thing I like to shoot. Even just heavy metal, and I'm just saying because there's a mixture of bismuth in there. But when I shoot my 20 gauge with bismuth, I feel like I have the confidence level of my 12, meaning like just the power of it,
Yeah.
So like in my mind, I feel like, okay, now shooting bismuth on my 28 gauge, maybe that will feel like the 20 to me. Like I'm just not going to feel like I don't have enough gun there with the right ammo.
Yeah. And I've shot steel out of mine, never during regular duck season. I just years ago I bought a case before ammo was like crazy,
Yeah.
of steel 6s, and I just use them for teal season because usually those birds are in 5-10 yards. It really doesn't matter too much what you hit them with at that range. I bought some Boss. What did I think? I think I got maybe 9s or 7s that I'm gonna try this teal season. Just a little better pattern, and with bismuth, I mean, bismuth 9s should knock them dead. So.
Oh yeah, for teal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be crazy. I'm excited to see that actually. I would totally, if you told me, do you want 6s or 7s? I would definitely go with 7s. Like if I had the option, but Heavy Shot doesn't do 7s. And then now they do. I'm not actually sure on the 12s, the heavy 12, but that stuff's really expensive. So I shoot that sparingly. That's specific times. I wouldn't shoot that. In fact, I didn't have a lot last year, and I still got plenty left because I just tried to kind of use it sparingly. But I will say that stuff's insane too. But anyways, I don't want to get off on that rap trail about Heavy Shot, but I'm just saying we both know there is a difference between still and bismuth, and that's scientific.
Yeah,
that's reality. It has nothing to do with brand or anything. That's just bismuth.
No.
Bismuth's heavier. Period. Whoever it's federal or whoever it is.
I always get a chuckle. Like you'll see Facebook, there'll be some old guy in some comments, any hunting article about bismuth, and be like, oh, that stuff's overrated. It's a gimmick. It doesn't actually work, or they just go on, and it's like it's science. Like just like he said, you don't buy bismuth or don't buy bismuth. I don't care, but you can't deny that it's not better. Like it has more knockdown power because it's denser. It's just like lead. Is lead better than steel? Everyone's gonna say yes,
right?
Other than environmentally, but yeah. I mean, whatever. There's people that it's science.
Well, grab the what's the table called? The table with all the metals and all the
periodic table.
The periodic table. Grab the periodic table. How's that a gimmick? Look at steel and then go look at bismuth. It's like it's heavier.
It's just and tungsten as well. It's like
it has nothing to do. People get so overwhelmed and wrapped up in like brands and just forget it's just the material. Period.
Yeah,
bismuth is bismuth. It is funny though. The old timers getting worked up about that, or anybody for that matter. But yeah. Anyways, since I know you don't use really aftermarket chokes, but actually, Jake from Chasing Green's the one that turned me on to him last year before season started. He's like, give it a try. You should give it a try. But I really like it. But yeah, I didn't realize it until I was really studying. I did a video on the channel about the stud ring. So they actually don't do constriction on the Code Black chokes. I thought all chokes were always constricted, and that's how they do what they do, whether it's full or improved cylinder or whatever. But these actually, it's the stud ring that slows the wad up. It's not the constriction. So it really doesn't constrict it. So I'm thinking they're saying that's why on a Pattern Master Code Black, not all the Pattern Masters are like this, but the Code Black duck, that's why it shortens that shaw string and hits that bird really hard. That's why, because of the stud ring. So I thought that was kind of interesting, just sharing that as a little bonus for anybody listening to the podcast right now. But so Matt, well, I'll let you go here in a minute, but what are your plans, any big plans this year for duck season?
Yeah. Planning on heading up to North Dakota in August for the early goose season. I've never been to North Dakota, so that should be fun. Might have a mini Flyways collective collab up there. Want another member possibly, but don't want to spoil anything yet till it happens.
Yeah, you could tell me when we hang up. I know. I'm a little jealous about that because I'm like, can I make that work? But then I don't want to jump in on the party. I don't want to ruin anything. But I've been wanting to do that too. That should be a good time.
Yeah. So that teal season might have another Flyways collective meetup there. Little mini collab again. It's just like we're going to be having a lot of little mini collabs with like one or two or three of us or something,
Yeah.
But so September, dove and teal, and then hopefully draw an antelope tag in October, and then just shoot an antelope hopefully, and back on to ducks and geese. Might go to Wyoming, might go to Kansas, all across Nebraska. I mean, sky's the limit. Hopefully gas prices go down.
My goodness.
I mean, might limit me some. So
yeah, definitely not the year of traveling that you would want to do. But hey, gotta get after them birds. We were thinking of the trips that we take. We were doing the math from what it was last year. It cost us to this year. It's like especially out here in basically I want to say California, but the West Coast in general is just ridiculous. Another $1 or $2 more than you guys are, I think. Where are you at right now for like?
$4.64 is what I saw today.
Okay. Yeah, for gas we're well over $6. About $6, and then diesel, which is what my truck's a diesel. It's $7 to $7.30. So
Jeez.
It's horrible, but that's always been that way, right? That's how California runs things.
Yeah.
And then like Idaho, Washington, Nevada, all those guys are Oregon. They're all about 50 cents to $1 cheaper most of the time, but than us. But they're still more than the Midwest and all that and stuff. But hey, you know what? I mean, ain't gonna kill them sitting on the couch. Got to make some sacrifices somewhere, or you could just get an electric car, Matt. Kind of work on that.
Hey, I've got an electric bike, so close enough, right?
Hey, and you can go like what, 20 miles on a charge or what?
It'll go 60 miles on a full charge.
No way.
But it'll go like 20 something miles. Yeah, 22.
It's
I don't
like
know.
$1 an hour.
We should probably talk about like the first day I got it, and I was trying to send you a Marco.
You don't know how bad I want to put that on my story or do a reel on Instagram, dude. I laughed. I haven't laughed that hard so long, Matt. You don't even know how much I needed that laugh. So thank you for sacrificing yourself. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, what? We got to, what we could do? We could do a collab post on Instagram, a reel, where it shares on both pages at the same time.
There you go.
That'd go viral, dude.
Oh, so I guess for those listening, I'll try to set the scene here. So I got this e-bike, set it up, and we got like a little bike trail where I live. And so I'm driving my little e-bike on this thing, and it has hill assist on. And if you have that enacted, basically, if you slow up, the motor kicks on to help you, like if you're going up a hill, or if you're, you turn, you slow down, and then you need to start back up out of the turn. So I'm stupidly doing this Marco, trying to descend Titus. I'm like, this thing is awesome. And the handlebars crank just enough and slows up So then the motor engages and literally flips me off the bike. And the phone's still recording. So I have to I drop the phone. I have to run over. I'm like, because I was like, this thing is so awesome. And then, the phone's just sitting there still recording. I pick it up. I'm like, except when it does that. And I send it to Titus, and he's just dying laughing when he responds back.
My wife is like, "What are you watching?" And then she's like, "You're mean. What is he okay? Is he alive still?" I'm like, "He's fine. He's fine." Then I was like, "Matt, are you okay?" Because then there was nothing after that. That couldn't have been better. Honestly, we've got to put that on something and just get that going, dude. That's not even fair not to show that to anybody. Oh man, dude, that was so epic. I'm serious. Oh, dude, because I was like, what did in my mind, I was thinking, did he hit a rock or something? Which could cause, I was thinking, if that thing goes that hard over a rock. It's funny that it was still recording too. You're just so nonchalant. You're flipping through the arrow. The phone's flipping, and then all of a sudden you're like, just don't do that or not like that or something. I can't remember. Except for that, I think is what you said, but it was funny.
Oh. So I learned that lesson the first day.
That was funny. Yeah. Have you been out on it anymore?
Yeah, I take it to the gym every day. It's not too far a walk or too far a drive, but saving gas wherever I can.
Yeah.
And I've taken it out in the country, and I'll zip around out off road with it. It goes pretty good. So I don't know. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it looks like it. Anything that does all the work without me having to do it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, right.
I still haven't got to do it. My brother, he said when he went with his family to the coast, they said they rented him the full size mountain bike ones, and he goes, man, it really was fun. So I've heard a lot of people like them, have a good time on them.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, well, I probably gotta let you go, but thanks for coming on short notice, and I feel like that was a good conversation.
Yeah, no problem. Always happy to jump on for you. So
yeah, I could talk about guns and chokes and patterns literally for hours. So, but yeah, best of luck to you this season. I'm sure I'm hoping we can link up somehow, depending on my work. I got a little farther drive. Man, plane tickets are out the roof. It's like I don't even want to think about flying right now. Just a normal plane ticket that I could fly somewhere for max $300. They're all $800 and $900 now. So,
oh my gosh.
Thanks to your Uncle Joe Biden there. No, but anyways, all right, man. Well, hey, tell everybody where they can find your stuff if they don't already know.
Yeah, so High Prairie Sportsmen on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and I think that's it.
All right, perfect. And we'll see what we can do about that little video of Matt and the e-bike. maybe we'll title it "When You're Rushing on Your e-bike to Get to the Spot and You Hit a Rock," or something. We'll come up with something.
Something like that. There you go.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Have a good one. And everybody, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys. Oh yeah, make sure you guys go check it out and check out his YouTube channel. Like he already said, go subscribe. He's got great hunting content. It's one of my favorite channels, waterfowl channels on YouTube. So go check that out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the MVM Show on YouTube. It'll be on there as well. And we're trying to get to 1,000 on there. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.